1976, I was in King's Road, and I saw this boy walking down King's Road, and I remember I was in the shop, and he walked past, and I goes, that bloke is an exact stereotype of everyone in King's Road. He was like, at the time, it was 60s was in, so he was wearing like these drain pipe trousers, pointed winkle picker shoes, you know, the 60s haircut, the whole, and everything was like the stereotype of what was going on. And then I walked into Vivian's shop, and he was standing in there with somebody or other, and he was like guffawing in the corner, like at some magazine or book or whatever it was. And I thought, I wonder what he's laughing at. So I walked over and goes, can I have a look? And he turned it round, and it was a book on concentration camp victims, and it was all dead bodies.
Oh my word!
I goes, well, what's funny about that? He goes, oh yeah, good fun, isn't it?
Well,
and
that Sid Vicious?
Yeah, that was him. This was before he joined the Pistols. And I mean, I don't want to speak bad of the dead, but...
Well, you just said that he laughed at the Holocaust.
Yeah, well,
that's the worst thing.
But he was just ignorant. Do you know what I mean? It was like...
He was only young, though, wasn't he? He had a terrible upbringing. His mum was...
Well, I don't blame upbringings, but the thing is, though, he just thought it was like, he did everything in a stupid way, so it's like, what punk was meant to be, all the kind of aggression that was like the opposite of what hippies were earlier. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, yeah, let's live that. And so he did it to its ultimate and murdered somebody. It's like he lived it out. Because he was just stupid.
He was the embodiment of punk.
You know, if he'd have lived, like, 3 years later, he'd have been like king of the new romantics in frilly shirts and long hair. But he just happened to be, at that moment in time, in that fashion cult for him. And so he got caught up in that little bit, you know, which was just about to kind of go out of fashion anyway, really.
Philip, you've given us a wonderful window into the world of punk and exposed the ideology behind it. Philip, we'll have a little chat to you later, but let's have a listen to what it was about the music, wasn't it, ultimately, Carl? Let's have a listen. That was Travelling Light by Tindersticks there. This is BBC Six Music. I'm Russell Brand. I'm here with Karl Pilkington. We're here till 1 o'clock in the morning, standing in for Lamone. Right, yeah, what I wanted to tell you about is the collectivisation of information, right? Sort of how, like, this is essentially a way of saying that two heads are better than one. We all know that in a way, but listen to this experiment, it's really brilliant. Apparently, this bloke, scientist, went to a church fete, and, you know that, like, if you go to a church fete, maybe you have to guess how many jelly beans is in that jar. Yeah, stuff like that, or how many sweets in this jar. It's like a big jar, there's thousands of them in there. Yeah. Right? Like, well, sort of, what this scientist did is he, instead of having a guess himself, like saying, oh, I think there's 4,362 jelly beans in that jar, what he did is he made, as a part of the experiment, they made a register of every single guess that everyone who went to that fair had made, right? So say 500 people had a guess, and, like, you know, he got all of that information. He then added together all the numbers, divided it by the number of people that had entered, and that was exactly the number of beans that were in the jar. Right, so... What did he win? I think he just got the sweets. He weren't doing it, you know, he's not a gambler, he's not in it for, you know, just for the sweets. He's not like a sugar junkie. He did it because, for the love of science. And what he learned is, that's an amazing fact, that, like, no individual got it exactly correct of all the people that were guessing, but if you added together all of the guesses that people made, and then divided it by the number of people there, that was the exact right number. So it's as if there's some collective intelligence that knows the answer to questions. So, like, perhaps if we were all to combine our intellects, we'd be able to solve the riddles of the mystery of the universe, the mysteries of the universe. Yeah, but it also helps. Yeah. I mean, it helps if there was a load of, saying that 500 people all looking at jelly beans. Yes, right? Yes. Surely you'd get the answer quicker if those 500 were made up of Stephen Hawking, Einstein, you know. I don't know what they're like. What's the use Stephen Hawking's knowledge would be in a situation like that? I mean, you know, he's just going to stare at the jar for a bit and go, He's not going to be able to, like, use worm theory on that, is he? No, but I'm just talking as a collective. Yeah, well, it would be better if the collective weren't made up of absolute goons and twerps and ninnies. Yeah. It's like, do you know when you get those big operations? You know, kids with two heads and all that, right? Yes, of course I know about the old kids with two head operations. Right. And they get, who among us doesn't? And they get a load of, like, the world's doctors together to work on it, don't they? They all come from all over the world, and they do they? Yeah, that's how they do it. Like an A-team of doctors. Yeah, it's better. If you're, like, ill, right, it's better to have a really bad illness, because it's taken more seriously, I think. Do you know what I mean? If you go in there and it's something boring, I hate it when doctors say, oh, don't worry, this is like, you know, we do these every day. Yeah. For me, that's like, well, you're not going to be concentrating then. You trouble your doctor too much, in my opinion. He was in there with your little bedtime kicky legs, weren't you? And now, what is it that's
No,
you're
I'm
claiming
just
wrong
saying
with
though,
you?
hang on a minute though, hang on. No, I'm not saying I've got 2 heads, I'm just saying, when a kid's got 2 heads, to get all the world's
I wish you
doctors
did
together.
have 2 heads, because there would be a 50% chance that one of them would have a better personality.
No, but what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
right, 2 heads, all the world's doctors, and all those doctors, I don't know where I'm going with this now, Russell, I don't know where
But all
we're
the world's, well, you're just saying that it would be better to have all the world's doctors conglomerate to sort of stop your little kicky legs. But we got a text message from some woman, I can't find it now, saying that you need to just take zinc tablets. It very nearly ruined her marriage, having those kicky legs, she said. And your poor girlfriend, God knows what else she goes through. When she's awake, she has to listen to your inane ramblings. When she tries to get to sleep at night, you're lashing out with your little feet, jabbing away under the
some
duvet.
zinc.
Zinc, take zinc tablets. I can't find the email that she sent us to tell you the truth, but...
Well, she might not be a doctor, why am I listening to...
Because she saved her marriage, that's why.
Yeah, but we're all
Here we go,
different,
I found it.
We're all...
Right, it's Vicky from Crystal Palace. For restless legs, take zinc and magnesium tablets. Honestly, it works. I nearly got divorced before I found out. Right? So there's that. Also, so that's that problem we've solved for you. And someone just sent a text message saying, that you know the phrase back to square one? Like, oh right, well that's back to square one. Apparently that used to come from radio commentary for football. There used to be a series of grid references. Like, oh right, it's in square 2, now it's gone up the field. It's Stan Liddle on the wing for Liverpool. He's moving through square 3. Oh no, he's been intercepted. The ball's been booted upfield.
So it was more like sort of computer battleships. It's like...
Yes! An audio, exactly that. It was an audio version of computer battleships.
People at home used to make grids and sort of go, oh, square 1,
Yeah!
9 across and all that.
Goal, they'd say. You sank my battleship. What an age it was.
Oh, now it's all about Sudokus, isn't it?
It's all Sudokus now. You've cracked them, haven't you? This is BBC 6 Music. I'm Russell Brand. We just had 3 in a row. We had Love in a Trash Can from Ravenettes. We had Prince Buster with Al Capone, and that was, of course, the Jam with Bitterest Pill. I'm here with Karl Pilkington. Karl, this is one of my favourite little Morrissey stories. And you know, like in the back of music magazine, sometimes you have like a little quiz. Oh, Morrissey, what's your favourite colour? Morrissey, what would you do to save the world? You know, where would you like to go on holiday? You know, those sort of things. You might get them in Smash Hits or something. I don't know what they have these days for kids. But like, in one of them, it was like, you know, talking to Morrissey and said like, what's the best bit of advice you've ever been given? And he said, watch what you're doing with them effing flowers, backstage, Top of the Pops, 1984 from Paul Weller. I really like that. That's the best bit of advice I've been given. Oh yeah, I better watch what I'm doing with them flowers, because otherwise Paul Weller will respond with violence. It's a good bit of information, ain't it? Nice to think, and also it's nice to think of backstage at Top of the Pops, Morrissey drifting around with his gladiolas and Paul Weller getting worked and peeved by it, like he would be. So, we're exactly halfway through our commitment to 6 Music now, like looking after my own show.
Yeah.
Whilst away, have you enjoyed it, this half of it, Karl?
It's been alright, hasn't it?
It's alright, isn't it, for the halfway stage?
Well, just playing some songs, some good songs and that.
Playing some nice
Having a
songs,
chat.
bit of a chin wag. We've solved quite a lot of problems over the course of the last couple of days, but now we must look to the future, Karl, right? Like sort of, you know, it's going to be 2006 any minute. Some things we know for a fact are going to happen are there's going to be a World Cup in Germany in June. We know that's definitely happening.
Yeah.
What did you say is definitely happening?
2036, world's going to end.
We've got that to look forward to. Armageddon, right? Because a meteor's going to hit Earth. That's what you think.
Something like that, yeah.
But always, and they do, like naysayers are always saying the world's about to end, aren't they?
Well, they are, but what worries me is nobody seems to be trying to sort it out.
What can we do, Karl, if a meteorite's going to strike the planet?
I mean, time whizzes by, doesn't it? This year went really quick.
It did, didn't it?
And people who are looking out for meteorites and that are probably going, oh, we've got a bit of time on this.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it yet. And before you know it...
Just have another look at Orion's belt for a bit.
There's going to be all that going on. And then 2036, you know, it's going to be like that Deep Impact film, isn't it?
Yes, it's going to be awful.
We're all panicking and that. Oh.
Yeah. No, alright, we should do something about it. But also, like, look, but, yeah, alright, I too, I'm gonna share the views of them, like, cosmologists and just say, let's not worry about it just yet. Right, because we know, right, next year, World Cup, another Harry Potter film. I don't like Harry Potter.
No,
I'm not really into him.
I've never followed it.
Yeah, I don't understand. I think what it is it injects the idea of magic and mystery and curiosity and wonderment into the mundane, isn't it? Because it's like, oh, Hogwarts, you know, or it's just like basically like a magical school. You know, like at King's Cross Station in London, they've now installed a platform 9 3/4, because there is, in Harry Potter books, a platform 9 3/4. Whenever you go to King's Cross, is always, you know, all it is just a wall with a sign saying platform 9.
This is actually there?
This is there in genuine King's Cross, yeah. I mean, it's a wall, Carl, with, like, platform 9 3/4 written on it, and then a trolley embedded in the wall, and invariably a cluster of tourists getting their photos taken around it. You know, so it's senseless, right? But I think that's why people are into Harry Potter, because of that idea. So we've got that Harry Potter film coming out. Have you got anything you want to say about Harry Potter?
Well, I don't like Harry Potter. It's gone on too... What annoys me is, right, what's her name who wrote it?
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah. It annoys me how people can sort of keep bringing books out and dragging it out, because it's not a finished story.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, the Bible or whatever.
Yeah.
There you go. Read that. It's got a start, a middle and an end. Enjoy it or whatever. Leave it halfway through if you're not enjoying it. But this Harry Potter thing, she's just like, oh, keep dragging it out.
She's really dragging it out, isn't she?
Let's get to the end.
Let it go.
I'm not dealing with it.
That lad.
But it's also that thing of the way everybody's sort of got into it as well. I see people walking around London, reading. Walking
and reading at the same time, risk their own physical health just so they can absorb more Harry Potter.
But you can't be taking it in properly when you do that either.
Of course they can't. They're living in a dream world.
Because I saw someone doing that with that Hawking book, that Brief History of Time, and I thought, you cannot be taking that in properly.
I tried to look at that, like, just sat alone in my room, I couldn't concentrate. If I was trying to deal with traffic, looking at tourists clustering round a trolley on an imaginary platform...
Wouldn't go in, would it?
Just be too much. Here's something else that might happen next year, right? I saw a picture of Prince William, H.R.H. William, in the paper today. He's going bald, right? I reckon by the end of next year he will be bald, and I'm glad about that, because of his Playboy Prince status and that. It makes me feel insecure about my own looks.
It's a big deal.
Because you yourself
I've got a little bald head, yeah. I mean, I've come to terms with it, and I'm happy living with it and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know what? I reckon if you pop a little song on...
Yeah.
I'll tell you about my bald head after. I mean, if that won't keep them tuned in.
Anyone who's not intrigued to hear about your slowly balding head has got no interest in music or conversation and may as well not be alive. Supergrass there with Finn, right? This is BBC Six Music, I'm Russell Brand here with Karl Pilkington standing in for Nimone. I did a gig with Supergrass once, right, Karl, at Coco in Camden, right, and I was backstage with them and I was talking to Danny Godfrey, right? And they there's a DJ playing in a DJ booth, not on stage, and it's a massive venue, thousands of people. There's a DJ playing, I was talking to Danny Godfrey, and I had to compare it, introduce them all on, and I was just sort of like deep in conversation with him, and suddenly he looked over my shoulder in the direction of the stage and went, "Russell, look, you're meant to be on, like that." So I panicked and ran onto the stage to my microphone and went, "Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Supergrass." And I was like, and then I sort of realised, hold on, there's still music playing. It wasn't ready to be introduced at all. I was just standing there like an idiot, my mic wasn't even live, and I had to just like go, ooh, and sort of shuffle back to the backstage and went, all Supergrass were all just laughing, all happy and pleased themselves, you know, and I felt like I'd been humiliated. It's like being at school, it was, that moment.
Why did they do that?
For a laugh. I mean, like, afterwards he sort of goes, like, you know, guys, I was only mucking about, I goes, oh no, it's alright. So then when I went back on to introduce them genuinely, I goes, oh, I don't know, Supergrass might not be ready, Danny might be off having a threesome or swinging about in Primrose Hill, up to no good, you know. And then, like, so I said it, but then he didn't hear that properly, so then he sort of came up to me as well, what was that? What was you saying? Just it ended up spiralling out of control. In the end, I just, like, sort of just left some chocolates and flowers for him and just went and sat in the corridor. Yeah, I didn't even leave them chocolates and flowers, I mean, it just ended sort of a bit strangely. Nice.
It's a good little story, isn't it?
This is life, Karl, you know. You can't sort of just change it to suit, you know, to make it more convenient, to make it a better narrative. So, right now...
We were talking about bald heads.
Yeah, we're talking about your bald head, weren't we?
Well, we're just saying to you, like, you know, you've got, you know, good head of hair.
Yeah, I hope I never ever go bald. I would rather get a terminal illness or have my arm cut off than lose my hair.
Why?
Just I like having hair.
No, well, I did. But it's one of those things, isn't it? You just get used to it. It's like, oh, I've got a bald head, there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, I suppose you've got to have a zen attitude to it. You've got to have one of a detachment. You can't be attached to your hair once your hair is no longer attached to you.
No, not really.
Didn't you used to have, like, what you were saying, your hair weren't very nice anyway?
Well, I used to go to this, you see, I think there's two reasons why I could have a little bald head, right?
Yeah.
Either, right, I did a 24-hour shift once, right, working in some recording studio.
Yeah.